Good morning, everyone. Give me a moment to get this going here, and we will get started. There we are. Okay. All right, I'm Lola Rist. I'm with lolarist.com, and it's nice to have you guys with us today. It gives a few minutes. It always takes a few minutes to get this in everyone's news feed. We're going to play with geraniums. It was one of the most beautiful days outside today. Oh my gosh, it's like 60 degrees this morning going out there. I loved it. But I want to work with geraniums, and I have been very vocal about the fact that I am not good at getting geraniums to grow. My geraniums never grow. So I'm just kind of not sure what I do wrong, but I can do these. These are paper geraniums, and I'm telling you, I love them. Morning, Jonna. How are you today? It is a beautiful day outside. Oh my gosh. We went outside. In fact, I don't think it was even 60 when we first went out, and oh man, was it gorgeous. Got some things done. Needed to be out there longer, but I had to come inside to do this. You should be getting close to the Ween picnic, aren't you? I don't know, maybe it's the 1st of August or something. Before you know it, it'll be here. So I'm going to go on ahead and share with you. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to go on ahead and start today with the DSP because I pulled out a different DSP today. You remember, Johnny, you probably don't even remember 45 records, but I do. And all those 45 records, many times you would get a second one on the back side that you almost like more than the first side. Morning, Ann. Nice to have you with us. The 45 records were the ones where you would have the hit, the big hit on one side, and then you flip it over, and it was a song you'd never heard before. And many times, those ended up becoming other big hits too. And so that's kind of what the DSP is like for me sometimes with Stampin' Up. I like sometimes the sides that are the smaller, more tiny prints versus the ones that are supposed to be the stellar size. I love this piece right here. I think that is so cool. But really and truly, I think this is what they wanted everybody to see. That's the beautiful one. This is a DSP that is called Boughs of Holly, and it's in the new Christmas catalog that's going live very soon. End of this week. August 7th is the Ween picnic. Oh my gosh. So here we go. I'm going to show you the papers. So those are the two. And then you have this one. And then you have the back side, which I'm not so sure I care for that. I don't know. I can see that I like the other one side better. But this is a cool one with all the trees. And then you have the back side. So another kind of like a tree camouflage. Then you have this piece. How far can I keep going here? Let me move my stuff out of the way. I like that. And I really like that. Really like that. Isn't that pretty? That's Evening Evergreen. Love that. Then you have this one, which is a pretty one. This is a beautiful set of DSP. Beautiful. Polka dot. So it's like the camouflage background, but they put polka dot here. Okay, and then you have this one, which really does not do anything for me. That is like too big. But wait till you see the back side of this. Oh my gosh, I just laughed and laughed when I saw it, but that's the one I'm using today. Give me a second to get it. It is Camouflage for Santa Claus. I love it. Is that not a hoot and a half? So I can really see myself using these two. I can see myself using this one. Yeah, don't care for that piece. I can see myself using these two and these two. In fact, I can see myself using most of it. But I thought this camouflage one I have to use today. So we're doing camouflage, but we're doing it with geraniums. So this is my colors that I picked this morning. So the colors in this set are Cherry Cobbler, which would be this darker one, Evening Evergreen, which is here, Mossy Meadow, which I went with Old Olive because it's in here too, Old Olive, Poppy Parade is in here, Real Red, Sahara Sand, Shaded Spruce, Soft Succulent, and Soft Suede. So there's a lot of color combinations in there that you can work with. So this is the piece we're gonna stay with today. So let me move all of this out of the way. We're gonna work with this one, and we're gonna use it for our geraniums. So I have done most of my die cuts ahead. I'm starting out with a 8.5 by 5.5, folded at 4 1/4. So how many of you have this stamp set yet? Anybody? Anybody have this besides Chris? I know Chris has it if she's on. Okay. It was one of the first ones I went with. I love their florals. And I know that people get on the leaderboard sometime and they're like, why do we have so many florals? Why do we have so many flowers? Well, I think a big part of it is Stampin' Up's flowers are so awesome. Good morning, Doris. You like the tree one? I do too. I do too. Some really pretty Christmas cards out of that DSP. So I am starting a Christmas card group. We'll have Christmas cards beginning in July. And we'll be doing it for 4 months, off and on. 4 months. So there's the first one. I'm going to start with a white that is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then I am going to take this piece of the DSP and I cut it down to 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, now tell me that's not kind of pretty to look at. Tell me that's not pretty. I think it is. If you can just get past Santa Claus's camouflage. See, I don't care for that. I don't like that at all. But I do like this. And we're going to tone it down, so give me a little time. We're going to try and get it toned down so it's not quite so in your face. I got this off just a hair, and I want to get that straightened out. Somewhat. Okay, now I went with the split. These are embossing folders. 6 months from this past Saturday is Christmas. I know. All right, so this is it called split card? Give me a second. Let me get the catalog because we need to have that so we know exactly what it is. I used this one time with Jim's anniversary card. And I really like that. This is those standalone dies back in the back. Okay. I'm looking, so let's get it figured out. It's called Split Card Textures. Split Card Textures. So we're going to take this and we're going to use some of the glue. I'm going to lay this down here. And I'm going to put some of the glue. Haven't used my glue for a while, so it's kind of not ready to ooze out. Just going to kind of come along here and put some glue in. And that way it kind of keeps that down. And then I'm going to be very careful to try to put a little glue here. Along the edge. Along the edge. So we went over last night to see some friends. One of our friends she's been not feeling too great. And so we took dinner over and Jim made he had a new recipe he wanted to try. And you know me, just let him cook. If he wants to cook, I'm going to let him. And it was a taco pizza. Oh my gosh. It was delicious. It was so delicious. And it was basically Trisha Yearwood. If you ever watch her on TV, he likes cooking shows. If you ever watch her on TV, she made this. This was Garth Brooks' favorite pizza. I told him Garth would have come. If he just invited him, but he didn't. But we had that. And then I made a chocolate cake. And we had that. And we just had a good time catching up with them and seeing how she was doing. And she is starting to feel some better. All right, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to lay this in here. And it's going to tone that down just enough that it's not quite so in your face. Okay? All right. So there's the card. Now let's go from there. And I took the old olive, deckled. I used one of the deckled rectangles. And I used the old olive. And we're going to kind of tone that down too a little bit. Sometimes old olive to me is a little bit, So I'm going to kind of tone it down. So I'm going to take a little evening evergreen on my, and I'm just going to lightly sponge it along here on my brush. I'm not even rubbing, I'm tapping. Okay, I'm tapping. And it's just giving it a little bit where it's not quite so bright as it is over here. Okay. Don't worry about the middle because the middle is going to be covered up with a piece of white matte. I just want to tone this down just a hair. Can you see it's getting a little darker? Just a little bit. It's still old olive, but it's just a deeper old olive. I don't know what you'd call this, thumping. Thump, 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 thump. It works. Okay. All right, so there it is. And I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna go on ahead and put this rectangle on top of it. And I just basically, oops, that's got some red on it, so I better put it on this side. I just basically take my decal die and I just kind of measure it, and then I cut 1/8 off, and then if that's not enough, then I cut a little bit more. So I'm not real precise on that measurement. But I'm going to cover that on top of this, like so. Okay. And we're going to put that on here, but let's put it on with some dimensionals. Now let's leave it off. I might have to put a greeting on there. Okay, so now let's come back and let's thump again. And I didn't really meant to thump on that, so let me write this off. So do you have a microfiber cloth that you keep at your Stampin' Up, or not your Stampin' Up, at your craft area, because they really do work. Okay, I had a notepad. Let's use this instead. Okay, and I'm gonna go on ahead, and in the dies, there is a whole set of dies that have the intricate leaves and veins cut out. And then it has the solid color of the actual flower leaf behind it. Okay, so when I glue that, this is what it will look like. But I kind of want to tone those down too. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to thump a little more. I'm just going to thump along here. You may not see it, but then when you pull this away, you go, oh, there is a lot more ink on there than you think. Just toning it down so it won't be quite so bright against the evening evergreen. Okay, so let's close that up and let's go on ahead and let's glue these together. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. It was just kind of quiet. I liked it. I liked it. It was kind of, we had the crop going here in Macon that some of us went to. And it wasn't mine. I didn't do it. Penny and Libby did it. And it was nice to just go and sit and visit. And I did catch up with some projects. Nothing big, just some things that I'd been wanting to get done that I hadn't got a chance to because there's other bigger things that have to get done. So it was nice to do that. So, and Jonna, I'm going to, Pam and I are going to talk bingo this week. We are going to go for the 3rd week of July, I think, is when you said you would be back. So that's my plan. And we've got a couple of different ideas of things we want to do with that. So, okay. Oh, I put glue where I didn't need to. It's when you're not paying attention. All right, so I'm going to go on ahead and lay this on here. And there's one. And while we're at it, let's get this glue off. Okay. And we're going to do the other one. Really? I've never had any problems with my brushes on my ink pads. Huh. Okay. Joanna likes to follow Kylie Bertucci and her husband Bruno from Australia. And she is fun. If you've never checked her out, she and Bruno are a fun couple on their Facebook Lives and things. Well, we're going to try a couple of different things, one of which will help us maybe pick up our food pantry is in desperate need of help in our community. We have had, they are really low because there have been so many families that are affected with all of the price with the gas and just everything in general. And so we're going to try a little something to help with that too, with our bingo. So, okay, so there's those two. Okay, all right. I'm going to go on ahead and stamp the pot. I have become a big fan of Sahara sand over the last few years. I rarely use crumb cake. I almost always use Sahara sand. I really prefer it. Okay, so we're going to go on ahead and we're going to use this one full force for the pot. And then I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to stamp it off. I have better luck lining up if I line up and use the darker color first. I can see through better that way. Some people prefer the light. I have to go the other way to get the pot. And I'm still not perfect right there. I'm off just a hair, but for what I was going to do, it's going to be fine. I've already got my pot run. I came in and die cut it already. And I'm going to go on ahead and also, while we're at it, we're going to do the little flower tag, the little plant tag. But I'm going to use it with Evening Evergreen. I'm just going to do the little tag. I'll have these done for tomorrow. And then there are several words. There's words that say just for you that are real tiny. There's friend and there is smile. And then there is one in there, a greeting, that if you cut it carefully, you can cut the word love off the end and use that, and it will fit in here too. So you have multiple things that you could put in this. Okay? So these are the two that I did already, and I've already got them die cut. So let's bring those down. And then we have this red. There is a piece that actually it cuts, and it cuts the size of the top of the pot, and it cuts like the bottom of the inside of the pot, like you could use for a your little dish that you set your pot in. Either one. I like to put it at the top, and I'm going to contrast it with a real red piece, and I'm going to thump it too. Today is the day of thumping. Hey, Terry. Oh, Terry, I'm so glad your priorities are in place. You're watching me instead of going to get your driver's license. Why did you not have your driver's license already? I thought you did. Well, I'm glad you're here with me. That's the main thing. All right. So I'm just going to thump, and I'm going to thump some cherry cobbler. No, not cherry cobbler, real red on real red, tone on tone, but it gives a little bit of texture to it. Just a little bit. Okay. All right, and we're going to go on ahead and glue that on here. Oh, it expires July 1. So you're just getting it. You're just making sure that you have your license renewed before it does have to go, and you have to go get your driver's license test. I was thinking test. Yeah, get that done so you don't have to go and take the test again, because quite honestly, I don't know that I could pass the test. We all get in such a way of driving that we don't think about it. Some of our friends in Georgia, their oldest son turned 16 and he went to get his driver's license. Of course, you have to know this boy has been driving everything on his dad, motorcycle, you name it. He's been driving since he was 6 or 7 years old. He could reverse the UTV better than me, the utility vehicle. My gosh, it's unreal what this kid could do. And it's like, good grief. So he could have passed the test when he was like 7 or 8. So he's got his driving permit. And I called Mark because Mark has this classy Trans Am covered in his garage. And I said, oh, Mark, I'm so proud of you. He said, what did I do, Lola? And I said, I am so proud of you because today you're giving Jake that Trans Am. Oh, my gosh. He cackled so hard, I didn't know that he was ever going to be able to calm down. He's like, yeah, that will not happen. Hell will freeze over before he gets that. Every 8 years, yeah. All right, so here's my geranium. And they have it where you can put dirt and then you have the stem. And I'm sorry, I don't know. No. I'm a big thriller and fillers pot person. I would have multiple stems going, okay? In fact, I'm going to cut this piece off. All right. Okay. So I'm going to cut that off. Lord knows if I did that right or not. I'm going to tuck this in down here. Okay. So let's put this on with dimensionals. You have to, Terry, you're in Illinois. In Illinois, you have to take the written test. Is that what I'm reading? How I'm reading this? I know I'm not supposed to buy gas in Illinois, but if that's the case, I can't move to Illinois either and take a test because then I'd have to pass. Oh my gosh! Holy, that's unreal. Thankfully, I won't have to deal with that. So I'm going to tuck that in here. I'm going to kind of tuck this one in. So I've kind of got multiple leaves going. In fact, I don't know. Maybe that's better. Let me put that one down. I'm going to put that one down with tape. After a certain age, you have to take the written test every year. Oh, well. Then they know that, you know, if you can't pass the test, you shouldn't be driving. Okay. Wow. And then I'm going to push this one. I'm going to put this one up with dimensionals. Okay. And I like to bring that down so it is over the pot edge, okay? All right, so now let's come back, and we have 2 sets of dies that I have for the geranium itself. And there is this one, which is like your background color, and then this one is your detailed pieces. And I want to change that color up just a hair so it's not real red on red, but I didn't want to go cherry cobbler. I didn't want it that dark. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to do my thumping. I'm just going to take these 2 pieces here and I'm going to thump them. Make sure I've got all my little pieces out. Wow. I tell you what, I passed everything but my eye test at the doctor when I went to get my driver's license. Gosh darn it, and I'll explain why. You would know why. It was absolutely an embarrassing time. Yes, Doris, it is a bundle. When I went to take my written test was, they had all of us dressed, they had us all sitting out there, and they had us all spaced out in the courtroom. And I got stuck in the judge's chair, up on the podium. I got stuck up there. And as I was coming down, I literally tripped and fell down the stairs from the judges, and I was just mortified. Mortified. And to the point that I couldn't even calm down to pass the sight test, the seating test, the eye test. They had to sit me down. They're like, go over there and sit down and calm down. Come back here and pass this test. It's like, oh, how embarrassing. Embarrassing. So thumping a little bit, just thumping some ink to kind of give it a little bit more texture and to change it up a little bit. But I didn't want to go all the way to cherry cobbler. So I'm just doing tone on tone. So when I lay that on there, it makes it pop a little bit more against the other. So I'm going to turn these over. And I am going to glue these down. I've lost my acrylic. Ah, right in front of me. Duh. Now you know why I didn't pass the dang sight test. My dad was like, oh my gosh, Lola. I'm like, I can't help it, Dad. I tripped. So we come down here. We're just going to glue this on here. A little bit of glue. And because this one is so delicate, I am going to let it sit up just a hair. I got a lot right there. And do this one. And we are not too far from being done. Okay. So I have, today we have a lot. We have card class tomorrow. I have a card ministry at church tomorrow. I have to get those cut. Actually, I got to design. Okay. So we're going to put that on top of that one, just like that. And there's just enough color on that that it may be hard to see right here, but there's just enough color that it really pops that more intricate piece up against the back side of the other. Okay. So we're going to put those on here. Okay. And I'm going to come back and finish my card. So, we've got this going. And I'm going to go on ahead and figure out how I'm going to put this on. I think I'm just going to slide this one down flat. And this one I'm going to pop up on a dimensional. And I'm not going to worry too much about the dimensionals because you're going to see white through there anyway. So if a white edge of a dimensional shows, I'm not going to worry too much about it. So let me get some glue here. I know, those photos are never, I'm like, good grief. Can we not get a decent photo? Driver's license, passport, oh my gosh. Johnny, you're laughing at me. Am I falling down the stairs? Can't see? Crap. Well, for a high schooler, that would be mortifying. Now think of that. That would be absolutely mortifying. Okay, so you're going to see that white, but I don't think it's going to matter because you got white anyway. You're going to see white through it. So what's it matter? Okay, so I put that there. There's white, but there's white behind it, so I'm not worried about it. All right, and I am going to try and put one little bit of a greeting on here. So let's take this off, this word friend. I'm going to push it off to the side. And then we're going to do the inside of the card and be done. So let's take, let's take just for you. And I'm just going to tuck that right down in that bottom corner. And I'm going to use Evening Evergreen. I'm just going to tuck it right down there. Okay. All right, and then let's go on ahead and do the inside of the card. So since we'll be stamping off, we're going to use this, the inside. And I have, my inside is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And I'm gonna go on ahead and put some flowers down in the bottom corner. So I'm just gonna stamp off and put a bouquet down there. And I'm gonna put my greeting. There's some really nice greetings in this set. Oh, Doris says they can't smile on Iowa driver's license, so we all look like convicts. It's the truth. I think I got it crooked. I can live with that. That's not too crooked. Okay, so then let's go on ahead, and we're going to go on ahead and put the Evening Evergreen now away. And we're going to get the old olive, and we're going to use the old olive to do these insides of these leaves. I wonder if I like stamping off. I wonder what it does. Yeah, let's stamp off. And then we're going to come in here. I'm going to put the leaves inside. And then we're going to do the flowers, and we are done just about. Just about. Where are the flowers? There they are. Okay. So let's go with the full force. I'm going to put some here And I'm going to put some here. And then I'm going to stamp off. And these are not meant to be exact. I mean, they really aren't. They're just kind of, the color is in there. But if you sit there and stew trying to get it to all line up perfectly, it ain't going to happen. Okay, isn't that pretty? Almost done. So here's the inside of the card. So I have a sampler that is coming out with geraniums here, probably by the end of this week. I've got everything ready. It's just a matter of starting to market it. And it is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's that. Reaching out with friendship and caring. I love that greeting. And let's go on ahead here and let's do a little bit of, I didn't get it done before. I wonder if I can do it now. Yep, we're gonna do it. I think it's with the baseball paper and the baseball suite. There is baker's twine that's evening evergreen. And I believe that's where it's at. You guys know me, I love baker's twine. So I'm just gonna put a little bow here. Forgot my tweezers, so I'll knot it. Michelle, this is a beautiful set. This really is a nice set to have. I'm anxious to play with this some more this week because I know what little I've done was on the sampler that I'm going to be putting out, and it's just beautiful. But there's so many other things you can do with it. All right. So I got that. That's kind of crudsy. Paid to have these sharpened last month, but there's a spot in there that's not too sharp. All right. So we've got that. And we have tucked this in, but we can do that after the fact. So let's put this up with dimensionals. Oh, Terry, what's it marked down to, the twine? If so, I need to actually pick up a few extra ones. What's it marked down to? I think it's got a red and white stripe maybe in it. And a blue. So if you were not here at the beginning when I was showing the Bough of Holly DSP from the catalog, I commented that it had, and I kind of like to put this up here a little bit. I want to put it up because I want as much of this to show as I possibly can. So I'm going to offset that card like so. And I've got to tuck this in with a dimensional. And I'm just going to come in here and tuck down. There's that. And we need a little bit of bling, and we are done. Thank you, guys. I hope you love that. I got to get on there and find out about the twine, because really, don't let baker's twine go away. You need to get gobs if you get several pieces of this. So these are the iridescent rhinestones. I was going to use a different one, but I couldn't find it. So iridescent is what we have. And there's my card for today, guys. I hope you love that. I think that is beautiful. And look, Doris, here's my little trick that you showed us how to do. Tuck that in. So there's my card. There's the inside, reaching out with friendship and caring. Before I put away, I need to go get an envelope and put that on there. And I've got that. That is a stunning. stunning card, all from Santa Claus's camouflage. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? All right, guys, take care. Have a great day. And thank you for being with me. I really appreciate it. It's not fun sitting here and talking to myself. I enjoy having my people with me. Ooh, while supply lasts. Baker's Twine is on sale for $5.25, and it is the one that has, I'm sure it has the a red one that's a striped one, like red and white, and then there's a blue, and there's that green. So go get it. Okay, guys, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.